Hello and welcome to Head and Shoulders, where we cover athletes' performances and otherwise that are head and shoulders above the rest. And today we're about to talk about some manipulation that happens in track and field. Here's the men's 200 lineup, and so many different things here. Look, we got to go to the 100. We're going to go to the 200. Actually, we're not going to talk about those events too much. We're going to talk about the background of what's happening behind the events, like Trayvon Bromell. If he breaks Usain Bolt's world record, not saying that he is, and not saying that he's close to doing it, because he's definitely not that close. But let's say that Arian Knighton breaks Usain Bolt's record, or Noah Lyles. Do you know the narrative that's going around right now? It's the choose. It's the choose. Track and field is about being
bigger, better, and stronger
than the previous generations and your opponents. Obviously, the track surfaces are going to be a little bit different. They're going to be different shoes. I don't think anybody wants to run in Jesse Owens shoes. I don't think anybody wants to run on asphalt surfaces. So, of course, those are going to be baseline advantages. Also, I don't think anybody wants to jump into hay in the high jump either. Somebody tell me there's a high jumper that's watching these videos and tell me that you really want to jump in hay. Just tell me that's the preferred method that you want to do, because yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on. So it's got to be the shoes when Arian Knighton, runs his times, right?
Wrong.
Like it's got to be all of that, right? So here's how you get manipulated. Now, I'm gonna bring up a couple of times where they said it's the shoes. Now that gets brought up in the distance races a little bit more, but it does get brought up in the sprint races too. And they got me looking over here like a Safa Powell, confused, like straight up confused on what's going on. So without further ado, let's bring up a couple of moments here where it just doesn't make any sense. They got me stumped here. They got me stumped about why they bring up the narrative inconsistently. If it's the shoes, it's going to be the shoes all the way around. But let me bring up something here, because this is a little dirty, dark secret. And this is more, like I said, these are broadcasts. So if you want to look at the funny images that I'm having on the screen, that can help. But commercial break. Like, comment, subscribe. We're looking for 10,000 subscribers, and I appreciate you all that have subscribed so far, because we're going to get down and dirty. We're going to talk about everything in between in track and field. That being said, back to your regularly scheduled program. They want to keep me quiet because they don't want me to talk about this. And look, how come they didn't bring up the choose when it comes to Arian Knighton, when it came to, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce running a faster time? They didn't say anything about shoes, about who out of the United States running a faster time, and here she is on the screen. I'm over here looking at them like, okay, so is it the shoes? Is it the bikey technology? Is it the Traditas? Is it the Kumas? Like, are these brands making them faster, or is it the track surface? Because the same old Jamaican track, although it was a new Nike surface, but the same old Jamaican track that's been there for a few years has gotten an athlete to run a fast time. Or is it the athlete that's training, went to a different training camp, and she ran a fast time herself? But if it's the choose, why didn't they bring it up at each and every time? I'm waiting for you, World Athletics organizations or sponsors, actually. Like, I'm not saying World Athletics itself, but different organizations. I'm waiting for the sponsors. I can't hear you. You're not loud enough on why you bring it up. Sometimes to discredit the athletes, and then other times you don't. Because sometimes the faster times are not even run on the tracks that you claim are quote unquote fast. Remember, Elaine Thompson-Herah just ran a 10:71 on a quote unquote slow, quote unquote soft track. Now, to my knowledge and understanding of basic physics, a harder track, because it gives you a harder force application whatever you put into something, it gives it back to you. Obviously, the shoes are having you to run on your forefoot to take advantage of your speed. It's not having you run flat-footed, not heel strike first, not any of that, right? When you're over there sprinting, you're running how? Obviously, the shoes are designed to do that. They're enhancing you. Yes, that's the basics. Now, beyond that, how many tenths of a second? I'm waiting for you all to say something. How many tenths of a second does it take off athletic organizations, sponsors? I'm waiting. Oh, yeah, this is how you're looking right now because you don't have anything to say. Now, look, don't blame me for being the person that's pointing it out, but this is how they manipulate you. If you want to know the point of this one, here's the point. This is how they manipulate you. They want you to believe that certain athletes can't do it without the help of shoes. They want you to believe that certain athletes cannot do it without the help of shoes. How dumb is that? A-Train 117. Yeah, exactly. I do. Yeah, exactly. They think the audience is a bunch of idiots. Yeah, A-Train. Yep. That is crazy. And thank you for your donation, by the way. But yeah, that is crazy that they are saying, hey, they think they're not going to put 2 and 2 together. We're used to manipulating them. Matter of fact, we're going to tell the audience that the horoscopes and this Doge lion right here exist. Like this exists because the horoscope said, hey, it's a Doge lion horoscope. So now the athletes are blessed to run faster than the next athlete because their shoes were superior. Now, are they going to say, now here's the inconsistency here because everybody doesn't have the same shoes because they don't have the same sponsors. Now, they were saying that, Trike had an unfair advantage and now the other ones have quote unquote caught up. Okay, maybe they are. Aren't all shoe companies trying to make a lighter sprint shoe, a lighter distance shoe, a shoe that does that? But how much does it affect it? Now, here's the kicker. Now, here's the big kicker. Here's a big kicker. Quick note before I get to the main point here. $123.7 billion were just minted. Minted means created in crypto. That means somebody used an equivalent to $123.7 billion. This was one Friday ago from July 24th, 2021. Now, for those people that are interested in crypto, definitely join that Discord, make a comment below. You got to be a member. We talk about crypto and whatnot in depth as far as those members. We got a couple of members so far, but just pointing it out to you guys. But aside from that, I know I lost some people already in this video. Let's get to it. Yep, I know y'all looking like this, like what the heck is going on? But look, how come they didn't say it was the shoes when Usain Bolt barely broke Michael Johnson's record at first? It was barely. He had to quote unquote work for it, right? Right? Yeah, he had to work for it. Exactly. Because he put in the work and he got it. But that could have been the moment where they said Truma right there or Kuma had the nice shoes that got him the win, right? They could have had the shoes that said, hey, because he barely got it. Now they could have made an argument, which might have made sense, that the track surface / the shoes knocked off 2/100ths of a second off of Michael Johnson's time, remembering that Michael Johnson slipped out of the blocks. But we don't hear that now, do we? I did not remember hearing that back in 2008 when he barely, again, barely, where you at? Where you at? Here, I'm going to give you guys this. That's what you get. You get a buzzer because you're wrong. Sure, they are going to enhance what? But how much? Tell me, how much? We never hear that conversation. We never, ever hear that conversation. They don't tell us how much it takes off the time. They give us these vague generalities because they want to sell and manipulate us. They want to say it on certain athletes. That's how they did these times. And then other athletes didn't. Sure, Maybe some tracks are a little bit better. Yes, they do have surfaces. How much time does it take off? Not a significant amount where it says, okay, this athlete can go 1063 and now they get on this surface and they can't break 1070. Are you telling me the track surfaces are that different? Well, then we should have some distance runners go over to these same track surfaces because they help distance runners the same way. You know, a hard track should be giving you a good force application back and it pumps it back to you. Now, the longer you're on the surface like that, the more it increases that risk of injury, but you're just doing it for a one-off race so that you can get a fast time, right? Right? Okay, cool. So how about we go to those fast tracks and then we see a huge difference, because if it's doing that at a max speed, just imagine how much each lap is being taken off in a 5,000, in a 10,000, in a 1,500, in an 800. Just imagine in a 400. How much time is it being taken off? Can somebody in the comment section that are experts in that, because you guys have died down. You guys there that were saying, oh, Eugene's surface is this. You guys are completely silent. I've been saying week after week, Jenna Prandini has a chance of medaling. Gabby Thomas has a chance of medaling and everything. I haven't heard a peep from you guys that were saying Eugene surfaces. Now, you tried to say it was high altitude. You guys tried to say it was high altitude, but your manipulation just stopped working when all I had to do was post a link and that silenced you. You went to shh. One link that proved what high altitude was. I didn't go back and mumble babble like I came and was drinking lead-based water that they poison so many communities with that deforms our brains. I didn't do lead water-based babble with you. I posted a link and silenced you with the proof that it was not high altitude, with the definition of what high altitude is, literally, and what high altitude constitutes in track and field, because they're slightly different. Now, I asked you for evidence and proof. How much time does it take off? Does the track play more of a significant portion than the time of the day, the temperature of the day, the atmosphere, the crowd? Which one has more of an influence over a person? Oh, I got you now. You're backed into a corner. Those people that were quiet, I'm asking you now, right now. And if you want to, you come in on the next call-in broadcast and you can voice your opinion. Remember, I asked you guys to call in on 2 broadcasts in a row. Not a single peep out of the haters that just hate on certain athletes' performances. Because you guys will say, shameless sha'carri. You guys will say, oh, they can't reproduce their times. I silenced you guys out of that one too. You went completely silent. You had nothing to say. Because on this channel, we don't allow those conversations to take place. We don't allow you to disparage athletes. Oh, they have big traps. They're manly. Oh no, I don't allow that on this channel. You go to somebody else's channel, if Flo, I don't know, America wants to talk about that. If somebody else wants to talk about the Doge lion effect and talk about things that don't exist, or allow it in their comment section and just don't challenge it at all because they want max views, max money, and then copyright strike people out of competition, well then, hey, go have at it. Go talk about your illogical conversations there. Now, maybe when I'm too large to actually be able to see it, I like to say I still would be looking for those comments and then really silencing them out of existence out of there. It's different for disagreeing. It's another one where you're just coming at these athletes, at their characters and whatnot for like no reason. So with that being said, I know this is what you're looking at. You're tired. You're tired. You're coming through the line. You're saying, why is this guy destroying our narrative? Because we don't want you to get manipulated. We don't want you to manipulate other people like how these sponsors are trying to manipulate us. They think we're stupid. Just like A-Train in this Zoom meeting is saying. A-Train is over here correct. Now, are you stupid? Is the audience stupid? Do you feel like you're stupid? Like how they're talking to you? I saw a couple of people, it wasn't just one, saying that the BBC, the BBK, I don't know. We gotta use a different name. I don't want to use the names like that. But the broadcast over there in Britain, in Europe, were talking to the audience like they were a bunch of idiots. Now, haven't listened to the pre-Olympic broadcast messaging that they've been giving out. If multiple people are feeling like they're being talked to like idiots, and that they're talking to them like, or their children, right? Because children aren't as smart as adults yet, because they're still developing. So either people use idiots or they use children, right? Because they're like comparing it to an adult. So I know you guys out there, you haters, you sick people that said that the blacks needed to pay for their sins of the past. You sick people that just cover these things and bring them into these athletic conversations that make no sense. I need you guys to just cool it out. And I'm glad you're gone. Now, over here, here's Knighton. He's putting in work. He has great form. Look at his form compared to other athletes and tell me that this kid is not running superior. Tell me that his shoes and the surfaces are what are making him run the times that he's running. Tell me that when people say they didn't believe that Jamaica could run as fast as they did because they have a 98-meter straightaway or a 96-meter straightaway. Because, if that applies in the 100, it should apply in the 400, the 1500, the 800. It should apply in all of them. But nope, they just want to use talking points. And yeah, it's kind of funny when we do that. But since this is the subject here, that's what we're going to do. So anyway, do you guys agree, disagree? Definitely comment, like, subscribe. I'm not here for disparaging anybody, whether you're from America, whether you're from Jamaica, Canada, wherever you are from, Qatar. We're not about to do that over here. We're not about to allow the manipulation from these sponsors to say these athletes ain't putting in work every single day. Sure, they got some advantages, but can one of these sponsors, the next time you see that, put it in the comment section on those videos when you hear, the announcers that have to say the line. Maybe they believe it themselves. I don't know. I'm not convinced that they are, but because I don't know, who knows? Maybe some of you guys are. Okay, if you believe that the track and the shoes are that much better, how come Michael Johnson's record wasn't broken before it got broken? There was a plenty of years in between it. How come Flojo's record, her supposed legal one, because if the other one had extreme wind, but the wind reading wasn't there, right? How come her 1061 hasn't been broken yet? Yet women's shoes, female shoes have improved. Yeah, maybe they didn't improve at the level of the men's because they weren't getting as much attention. There's some argument that there wasn't. Okay, maybe that's an argument. Okay, why hasn't that been broken yet? Oh, and it seems like Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce went from a 1070, hovered around 10.7 low, and then she went to 1063 as soon as she started training with a different coach. Maybe she would have got to the 10.6s sooner. That just makes me wonder, with that strength training that she's gotten now, maybe she would have gotten into the 10.6s sooner, and then she's ready to get a new PR and she can go 10.5 now. That would be crazy if she can break 10.6. Crazy in a good way, because I like to see good athletes do well. But how come it wasn't? Tell me how much. I want you guys right here that are experts in this. Tell me how much it improves their time, because you're going to come here and manipulate us out of their hard work and performances. That's all I got to say. This is overtime for anybody that is still listening. Now we're going to go into overtime. We're going to talk about a different subject. It's going to hurt my analytics. I know, because 20, 30-minute videos on my channel, I can see it, are going to do a little bit better, right? They're going to do a little bit better. The overtime here, we're going to talk about a little bit about cryptocurrencies. If you're not interested, just get off the video. That's fine. Share it with somebody and tell them the timestamp of where this is, where we talk about crypto. But hey, thank you guys for watching it so far. The other people that are concerned about assets and making different money and everything, then cool. Now, there is something that I introduced to you guys in a video. Remember the screenshot. Now, look how many billions of dollars more this is, right? This is Aave, AAVE. Okay, it's an asset that represents this crypto bank. And there is the website, the app that you can use. It's called aave.com. Okay, aave.com. Now, none of this is financial advice. I got to say that as a disclaimer and to cover my behind. Okay. So not financial advice. Do your own research. I always got to say that. Now, if you want to join our crypto community where we talk about, hey, doubling your income in different ways, you know, getting certifications, getting different types of skill sets, getting jobs and everything. Hey, because look, all I remember is that I was told that this is a doubling game. How many times is it you have to double your money, your bank, before you get to $1 million, if that's your goal, to 10 million, if that's your goal, to 100,000, if that's your goal, to $6,000 in the bank in general, if that's your goal? What do you have to do? How many doubles do you got to do in order to get that? You could break it down. You could say, starting at $1, how many times I got to double a dollar? Starting at $100, how many times do I have to double from 100 to 200 to 400 to 8, right? To 1,600, 3,200, 6,400, and so on. How many times you have to double in order to get to those numbers? Now, what this is that you can deposit a different crypto asset. Now, the other day, this was at $16 billion when I started to bring this up in some videos ago. Go to the live stream, see that it was at 16 billion. Then it went up to 17.6. When I saw it 17.6, I knew that the crypto market with good confidence was going to recover. Only about 2 hours ago, this was at $18.3 billion. Now it's at 18.86. It's going to fluctuate up and down because the worth of some of these assets down here, like this wrapped Bitcoin, which is a synthetic version of Bitcoin, is going to go up and down in value. Aave itself is going to go up and down in value. But what I've noticed, even when the market was going down and there was some, as you can see on this chart, the prices had gone down over this 15-minute period of time. And yet the value of Aave has tended to go up. Why is the value here going up still? And you can see live, Bitcoin's price is going down just slightly. Ethereum's price over here, well, you guys can't see it because I kind of scrunched up this, but I got 4 different values here. So many different assets, yet even here in the hundreds right here, you see that value going up. Now, here's the reasoning behind that, because people are depositing more and more on here. They're borrowing as well. So what you can do is you can get an APY. It also shows you APR rates, APY and APR. You got to know the difference. This is not the video for that, but this is a what's called a stable coin. Look, the world economic powers, they want us to go digital. Right now, over 90% of all our transactions, I don't want to say the incorrect number, but if I'm not mistaken, it's either 96 or 98%. But over 90% of all of our transactions worldwide are already digital. You order off of Amazon, you order off of Callmark.com, you order off of all of these websites, you pay a YouTube premium. You do all of these other things. And the reason why I mentioned YouTube is because they're paying me check. So gotta respect the people that are paying. But all of these other ones, you're buying all of these things over Core Cash, Core Dash, or whatever. You're doing all of those. Tuber Eats. Come on now. You guys know what I'm saying. You are ordering that online. You're using your debit or credit card. That's what you're doing already. So anybody that's afraid of that, you kind of brought it upon yourself because you're there. It's been people that have laughed at me because I actually have carried cash. They laughed at me saying, what, you actually carry money? Oh, yes, I do. I am going to have a little bit of cash on me. That's important. So with that being said, this is a stable coin that tracks a dollar. This is one, so this one, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, this Binance US dollar, SUSD, True USD. There are 7 of these right here that you can deposit the US dollar, you can borrow against it, or you can do something called stake, aka savings account, where somebody else borrows and you get this APY of a 2.44%. Tell me any bank that allows you to actually take that much money, take any amount of money and get that rate. You will find none. Matter of fact, in Europe, they got negative interest rates, which means when you put money into a bank or you put your fiat currency, your currency into a bank, what happens? You owe them. You got to pay them now. That's what happens. So trust and believe these billionaires, they're not going to just say, well, I'm going to do willy-nilly deposit my money into this bank. No, that's why Visa just made a deal with USD coin, USDC, USD coin right here. Visa is using them for their transactions in the background. Wow. You know what that does? That brings validity to the crypto market. These billionaires been in here, they manipulate you, they tell you it's all risky, it's scammy, and all of this other stuff. And yet money is being poured in hand over fist. They're going to take it out of the regular people. The people that need it the most, which have the least amount of money, are going to be the last ones to come in. You're going to be forced to do it. You're not even going to know in the background. You're going to be using a Visa card, not knowing that it's backed by crypto. Here's $123 billion. Now look at this, $123.760. That's $123.76 billion that were minted. Now there was a certain asset that this was on, which is why I blanked out that, because I don't want you guys to get stuck on the asset that represents what this was. But it had assets like gold, silver, and all of those things. They put $123 billion, almost 125 billion, into crypto so that they can buy up crypto tracking, like gold and silver price tracking cryptocurrencies. Remember that, okay? Remember that. That's what I want you to remember. Now, let's look at something here. Let's go to DAI. It has the most 1.33 billion. And let's look at what we can do here. Now, I'm not going to go into full detail. Video's going kind of long. It's overtime. It'll be better if it were involved, because I got just a few of the members here. We got about, who do we have here still left? Let me look at this there. We got 4 of our 7 members of that here as of July 24th. So you could be looking at this in the future. Come on, load up. And they're viewing this on Zoom right now. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. All right, we back. And so to you, you didn't know how much time went by, but yeah, usually it's faster. I think it's my internet here. But anyway, so it tells you, unlike a traditional bank, right? You can't see how much money is there. You don't know how much they're holding. You don't know who borrows what. You don't know how much they're making off of you. You deposit $1. The average is you deposit every one American US dollar that you deposit. This is worldwide, if I'm not mistaken. They can, out of thin air, just fabricate. Now, to them, they call it fractional reserve lending. This is why they don't have enough money in these banks. But hey, let's not panic, everybody. Let's not have you running and panicking to the bank. They don't want this information out. So for every one American US dollar equivalent, they can fabricate, because that's what it is, fabricate legally 9 additional US dollars, at least. Some of them do more, some of them do less. Depends on the bank, but across the board it's an average, right? Now, with all of that being said, you can see how much is borrowed. So it says utilization rate, which means 79.35% is borrowed right now. Shows you how much, 601 billion DAI, which is equivalent to US dollars. And these are by people that use something called Ethereum. They deposit their Ethereum, they're taking a risk there. And so because of that risk, they're going to get some kind of reward, and they get paid off in the reward. So yeah, so it shows my wallet balance is 0 because I didn't deposit that there. Now, the available liquidity. Now, you guys should look up the term liquidity right here. I'm not going to go into detail with that too much, other than It's the ease of you exchanging one value to another value. Okay. So if you had a house, it's not very liquid because you can't just snap your finger and then trade one house to the other one. But if you had whatever your local currency is, you can trade that for another local currency and it will be worth the same value. Right? If you wanted to sell a house very quickly, you'll just be like, all right, I just take whoever, and then you still got paperwork and taxes and all the other good stuff with it. So that's not very liquid, but a currency to another currency is pretty liquid. Now, with that being said, look, can it be used as collateral? It tells you whether it can. Stable borrowing. What that means is a stable rate where they just give you. Instead, they say, no, you only go to our variable rate. So today it can be 3.9% interest, or it can be up to 12% interest. And really, that's like capitalism. Capitalism says that we're going to let the market decide, or I guess whatever this, the health rating here, because they even say in the terms of service, if they need to, they have to, with the variable rates, we got to cover, make sure we don't become bankrupt. And that's the important thing. So it's going to be the market that decides what this rate is, or in this case, Ave. So that's not as capitalistic, unless their terms of service deposited. So a liquidation, it has to go 80%. So it's at 79.35%. So whatever this liquidation threshold. So there is a small fluctuation here. So basically, you just have to say, if this goes to, like, the utilization rate was 81.72%. If the price of this matched to the US dollar goes down 80% in value, you get liquidated, which means they take half of whatever your assets are. And that's what that liquidation. Some liquidation means they take 100% on here, to my knowledge, from what people have told me. They got liquidated multiple times. So they got good experience. Not with DAI, but they use different cryptocurrencies and they didn't know how to sell. Isn't that a shame? What they did was they used a different cryptocurrency, got liquidated multiple times, and it only took half, which is good to know, because most places take 100% and you're out to zero. So it shows you what the rates have been. It even pumped up to 11.21% at its highest, right on July 12th. And it typically stays within a 3 to 4% ratio. It tells you what the deposit APY is, 7.99% on June 10th. Let's see, I think it probably pumped up high on the 12th. The 14th, it was 8.58%. So sometimes these things go up and they're not in conjunction with each other all the time, but then in general, it looks like they are. Okay. Now, with that being said, this shows you all of that. I can press this deposit button, link my wallet. If you guys are interested in this, because this has been overtime, I'll probably put some of you guys to sleep. It is what it is. Men, get your life together, right? Get your finances together, men. I'm talking to the men here. I know there are a couple ladies. Most of the people that watch my channel are men, so I'm that's why I'm it says network connection. Oh, I might be buffering here. I'm in light mode. But anyway, with that being said, look, get your lives together, because so many people are broke. Most of the people are living paycheck to paycheck, quite literally. We got that data. Paycheck to paycheck. Don't matter if you got millions of dollars, you got freaking $30,000 equivalent in whatever your respective country is. People are out here broke. And so what I'm trying to do is share a pathway that we can help each other. Yeah, you join a membership, and then I'm showing you my mindset in what common sense methods here that we can take and that are more or less safer. Now, like I said, it's not financial advice. I got to say it to cover my butt with that. But like I said, that's what we got to do. So if you're interested in something like this, it's not like I'm charging you an arm and a leg, because I got a main group that's a crypto group. This is a sports channel that happens to introduce crypto. Now, if you want the main group or whatever and the more complicated stuff, then sure. But other than that, hey, ask about the membership, and then we get you in. You're supporting the channel, the animations, and you get to learn different skill sets, different ways where you can park your assets and your money so that you can actually bring things. Because what I was told is that certain types of people, they don't like non-physical things. Now, I know from speaking to that, and I'll speak on this one, is that certain communities in different countries, they don't like things when they can't hold them. And that's what holds some people back, right? If you can't hold it, they don't want to deal with it. But you can't hold a bank account either. And this is what this is, a bank account in crypto that gives you a better rate of return than any bank out there. So if all you do is deposit an equivalent to US dollars there, well, you don't have to worry about quote unquote gambling in crypto. You just trying to say, okay, look, I don't care about nothing else. I just want to make sure I get a higher interest rate than the bank. Okay, cool. Now you're taking a risk. What if this goes belly up and all of those things? Those are risks that you need to know. It's kind of common sense that you need to know that. See and read the terms of service and see if they have the backing. Maybe it's not FDIC. Maybe it's something else that backs them. Let's see. That being said, I'll catch you all on the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and share.